How Colin James captured the essence of Van Morrison's Into the Mystic. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Canada. If you want to check out the entire interview with Colin, there's parts 1 and 2 as a podcast or a video, links in the description of this video. Here's Colin James.
By the way, I think and it's one of my all-time favorite songs. I'm not the biggest Van Morrison fan, but your version of Into the Mystic, almost makes me cry.
Oh man, thank you. Songs like that, and I wish I could tell you that we knew it was gonna do well as a song, or that we knew we had, I recorded that song twice for that record. The first time I recorded it with Reggie McBride on bass, who was on a Van Morrison record that he did with Dr. John. Into the Music, was it? And then we had Jim Keltner, the famous drummer who played on all John Lennon and George Harrison records, and Ry Cooder and everybody. But the version we did with them, for whatever reason, just didn't have the pep. It didn't have the magic. So I went home and I was prepared to just drop it from the record. And someone says, we could use a bit more. We had a long day of recording, and at the very end of the day in Vancouver at the Warehouse Studios, Bryan Adams, studio, I said, hey, everybody, would you mind if we just tried that one time, this Into the Mystic? And the bass player really didn't know it very well. He wasn't familiar with, he'd heard it on the radio, but didn't know the bass should be, there's a bass line that that everyone plays. Well, he never really noticed it, so he didn't play that. And we sent it out as the last song on that record. No one had a clue. We all liked it. And for me, it was kind of my tribute to somebody I was a huge fan of. And then it just took off and kind of created its own thing. And it's my number one song now on most platforms.
The last time we talked was when you released Traveler.
Us Traveler.
That's the last time we talked. I was the program director of a station in Calgary. And I think, if I remind me, isn't that the album where you recorded and you thought the place was haunted?
Oh yeah, the place has an amazing history. The place was called the Paramour. It's still there. It's an old Hollywood. I think it belonged to a Spanish movie star who apparently died in a car accident, and that story has carried on over the years. But they would have huge, like Variety Fair would have their parties there. Vanity Fair, excuse me. And it was just this amazing, swimming pool, with an overlooking Staples Center. So in the front lawn, if you went out, you could see Staples Center down below. But yeah, that was a fair amount of time ago. That's crazy.
One more thing about that. Do I remember this correctly? That you had said you didn't necessarily see something, you'd heard things about the place, but you had a feeling about the place. Isn't that I think that's what you told me. I still have the interview.
Well, it was a big sprawling mansion. So when you went down to get dinner, it was like the old servants' quarters, like massive industrial kitchen.
Like The Shining.
So it was incredible. It'd been there so long, and sitting on this, it was Silver Lake, right? It's in Silver Lake in LA, which is that new kind of a very trendy new area to live. So you're right near the kind of the strip, and it was just a great experience. Making records back when we used to make records at studios.
Down on the bottom. Let's talk about Down on the Bottom. Like I know I asked you last time where it was. I thought it was Abbotsford or Mission, but where did you do that? By the way, how long does something like that take?
What do you mean? It did take to record?
Yeah, to record a video like that. How long does that take?
Oh, the video. Oh, that was like 2 days. But 2 days. It didn't have to be 2 days, but we were trying to get. It was a bit of a luxury to have the second day, because initially it was all going to be done in a day. The guy doing the video, Cole Northey, is the son of Craig Northey from The Odds. And Cole, there's not a lot of people out in this doing videos right now, because it's not as, they're not a thing as like they were, but everyone likes to use them for the release and get a vibe and a picture of what their album kind of looks like. But he is excellent. He came over and had a meeting with me, and I thought right away, not only have I known him since he was a kid, but he's such a professional. And we had a Steadicam. So it was a Steadicam operator, me and the director, Cole, and a beautiful, beautiful summer day in southern BC.
And what was it, a 67 Mustang? What was that?
'67, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, it was beautiful, but it was a little hair raising for me because the guy who owned the car, who's a super nice guy, but my feet barely hit the clutch. I mean, at first I felt, then as the day went on, I found him and ground him a couple of times. I felt bad about it, but I finally got it together. But I had to do these 3-point turns on these, country roads with culverts on either side with this mint Mustang, but it all worked out.
That all worked out. Interesting song. Where did the inspiration come from for that? I mean, I looked at that and I'm going, we've all been, just the title itself, we've all been there. You don't know you don't know good times unless you've had bad times. But where'd that come from?
Yeah, well, I can't take credit for the song. The song was written by Bob Dylan. But Bob Dylan never.
Right. You told me about this. Yeah,
that's right. But he never recorded the song. So a record was called The New Basement Tapes, and it was basically reimagining what Dylan might have put to music, and he allowed it to happen. So he said, "Take my songs. Here's my manuscript. See what you can do." So Elvis Costello was on this particular track, on the original, as well as Jim James and one of the Mumfords. And I'm not very up on my Mumfords, so I couldn't tell you which one it is. But anyway, it just had a nice. We tried to rock it up a little more than the one that was done by them. And I always like a new rock song in the set, so it's a lot of fun to play. It's kind of like it's got a bit of a Rolling Stones a kind of vibe to the playing on it. And yeah, I think everyone can relate, especially during 2 months of downtime during the pandemic. Everything's looking up from here,
I hope you enjoyed that. Many more parts coming up to our Colin James interview. We actually talked to him twice in the last month, and there's links in the description of this video where you can check out the podcast and the entire interview on our sister channel, Rock History Book. And Colin has a brand new album out. Remember, links in the description as well where you can pick that up. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Canada.